So, hello everyone, welcome to this weekend / beginning of the week news flash, whatever you want to call it. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Minnesota, Amy Kloubuchar announced the beginning of her presidential campaign. Donald Trump and his son mocked a genocide that we committed. Talking about the Green New Deal. Ralph Northam's awful answer on literally what calling pretty much indentured servitude slavery. That's pretty much what he did. The Amazon deal may be going on flames, and Nancy Pelosi triggered Ben Shapiro in the most hilarious way possible. He just gets so little about it, like a little whiny little baby, like one of those Turning Point USA guys that likes to kind of dress up in diapers, like those Charlie Kirk college Republican activist types. Yeah, it's all really funny stuff. So we're gonna get to that all today. But first, Minnesota, the staff-hating psychopath, Amy Kloubuchar, with temperatures literally hovering in the teens. Amy Kloubuchar, literally in the middle of a blizzard, decided to announce her presidential campaign. That was maybe you want to do that inside. I mean, I'm sure there's stadiums and there's rec centers in Minnesota where you could have probably done that a little bit better. That's a little ridiculous that you try to do that literally in like 10 degrees. You got hundreds of supporters gathering in heavy snowfall. That's some dedicated stuff for literally Amy freaking Kloubuchar, dude. Like this is literally the most boring, most uninspiring, most like neoliberal centrist senator in the history of the world, and you got like literally 100 people, 100 people out there, or maybe more than that, gathering her. But like it was probably more members of the media than actual supporters there, to be honest, was the funniest thing, because like all these like her bullying political media in standing out in 10 degrees weather to watch her soon-to-be failed campaign launch is pretty funny. Like it's a power move from Amy, power move. But still, here's a taste of her launch address that we could play here from our our warm space-heated studio. This is again courtesy of CBS News.
So today, on an island in the middle of the mighty Mississippi, in our nation's heartland, at a time when we must heal the heart of our democracy and renew our commitment to the common good, I stand before you as the granddaughter of an iron ore miner, as the daughter of a teacher and a newspaper man, as the first woman elected to the United States Senate from the state of Minnesota, to announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
All right, yeah, so there she is. That's the moment she made the announcement. They zoom out, and it's a freaking blizzard. There's snow on the top of the microphones. There's snow on the top of her head. I feel literally bad for every poor soul, mostly media members, who had to be there, from what I'm assuming. It was probably like, what, I don't know, maybe 150, 200 supporters. But I mean, I'm sure she would have been able to gather a little bit more people, having been literally at 10 degrees in blizzard, like snowing outside. But still, it just doesn't make any sense that she would do that. So, yeah, she's an outspoken critic of the Trump administration, and obviously she relied on her Midwestern roots as well. She could rely to be competitive in some pretty key battleground states that Trump won in 2016. She's also 58. She's also a little bit on the younger side for Democratic opponents. I mean, she's not very much of a strong policy. She kind of is. Yeah, so I just like, why are you torturing people like this? I'm kind of like, okay, if you're doing it to like literally the political media, like Chris Cillizza out there standing there covering your campaign, like a CNN media type kind of guy. I mean, it's acceptable, but like for the people who support, like why would you put yourself through that? That just seems like it's just a bunch of nonsense there. Yeah, so she delivered a kind of a blue-collar speech in language of Midwesterners, and with snow collecting over her hatless head, Kloubuchar portrayed the mighty Mississippi as a metaphor for American struggles for liberty and justice, where everyone matters. She noted the Native American origin of the name of the river that divides the country geographically, running from north to south. She paid tribute to her grandfather, who worked as a miner, as she said in that clip that we just played, and didn't finish school, and her immigrant ancestors who arrived in the U.S. with nothing but a suitcase. Yeah, so she's probably, I mean, I already said, I laid it out. There's 3 candidates who have a shot. In to the right, we have Kamala Harris. To the middle, we have Elizabeth Warren. To the left, we have Bernie Sanders. Amy Klobuchar. How in the world is she going to distance herself from somebody like a Kamala Harris? There's no distinction other than that she's white and she is slightly more boring and has slightly lamer critiques of President Trump. I don't see her getting anywhere. And by the way, she just sponsored legislation with Ben Sass. Like, anything Ben Sass does that she she signs on, like, that doesn't make. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't think anyone on the left is going to trust it. I mean, she could be good with the corporate. She could be good with the corporate side of things, the corporate Democrats. But I mean, on the other hand, you just don't know. You really just don't know how they're going to react to her. She's not a very charismatic politician. She didn't check the identity boxes that they like. She didn't check the policy boxes that someone on the left wing would like. So, yeah, it's also kind of tough. So, here's Jill. We'll just be fair. Let's talk about some of her policies there. Senator talked about how the community rally to rebuild the I-35W bridge that collapsed in Minneapolis in 2007, killing 13 and injuring many more. But she noted that a sense of community is fracturing across our nation right now, saying, we are tired of the showdowns, of the gridlock and grandstanding. Oh, why can't politicians, they talk so boring. Oh, no one wants to hear that. That's why, again, the only good thing about President Donald Trump is how he talks. In campaign speeches, it's at least you can keep your head up straight while you're listening to him. Jesus, we're tired of the shutdowns and the showdowns, of the gridlock and the grandstanding. Oh, stop. Okay. Other topics she covered included economic inequality, the disruptive nature of new technologies, and comprehensive immigration reform. She promised to overturn Citizens United. Anybody running on the Democratic side should be pushing to overturn Citizens United, promote automatic voter registration, and push for universal health care. Although in the past she had stopped short of publicly supporting Medicare for all, unlike some of our other Democratic challengers. And by the way, yeah, no, I really don't trust anything she says about it. Any possibility of single-payer healthcare. I don't think she is supported. I don't think she ever has. I don't think it's in her heart of hearts. That's not who she is. She hasn't been fighting for it. She hasn't taken a progressive tact on a single issue. So we can just, I think, sideswipe that pretty easily. All right. Here, yeah. One thing Klobuchar did not mention in her speech, this is a little of the messy part, is she has a history of mistreating her own staff. On Wednesday, Huffington Post reported that 3 people had withdrawn their names from consideration to lead a presidential campaign. Former staffers told the news site that Klobuchar is prone to bursts of cruelty that make it difficult to work in her office for long. I will give you some of the details in a moment, but here is her voice talking about the snow.
Let me be blunt. For too long, leaders in Washington have sat on the sidelines while others tried to figure out what to do about the changing economy and its impact on our lives. What to do about the disruptive nature of new technologies, income inequality, the political and geographic divides, the changing climate, the tumult in our world. For a moment, let's stop seeing those obstacles as obstacles on our path. Did we view the snow as an obstacle? No, we did not. Let's see those obstacles as our path. This is what I mean.
All right, so yeah, that's her talking about the snow and all that stuff. So we're going to play a little bit from her speech. But imagine that kind of voice. Imagine that kind of person. I'm sure you probably haven't seen a picture of her, but just to give you an idea of who she is, what she sounds like. This is what she did. This is what she apparently does to her own staff, according to BuzzFeed reporting and Huffington Post reporting. But behind the doors of her Washington, D.C. office, the Minnesota Democrat ran a workplace controlled by fear, anger, and shame, according to interviews with 8 former staffers. One that many employees found intolerably cruel. She demeaned them and berated her staff almost daily, subjecting them to bouts of explosive rage and regular humiliation within the office, according to interviews and dozens of emails reviewed by BuzzFeed News. That anger left employees regularly in tears. Former staffers said she yelled through papers and even sometimes hurled objects. One aide was accidentally hit with a flying binder, according to someone who saw it happen. Though the staffer said the senator didn't intend to hit anyone with the binder when she threw it. So, yeah, literally threw a binder across the room. Very stable genius right there. HuffPost also reported that Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid spoke privately to Kloubuchar in 2015 to urge her to stop mistreating her staff. Reid has since defended Kloubuchar as one of the hardest working members of the Senate, saying this is what she said to a comment to a BuzzFeed News reporter, saying, quote, "Yes, I can be tough. I push people. I know that. But in the end, there's been so many great stories of our staff that have been with me for years and have gone on to do incredible things. I have high expectations for myself. I have high expectations for the people who work with me, but I have high expectations for this country." So that's what she says in response to that. So pretty much nothing here is giving me the indication, right, that any of these allegations are false. Like, I certainly see this is happening. She's like, yeah, I mean, I have high expectations. Okay. I don't see a denial in there. She's saying, yes, I can be tough, and yes, I can push people. I know that. Yeah. She is seen as somewhat of a moderate, not what we need right now, who gained national recognition for a tough questioning during the confirmation hearing of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. She has supported limiting big money's influence of corporate PACs. She reported, while she has supported limiting big money's influence in politics, she's brought in more than $635,000 in corporate PAC contributions in her 2018 re-election campaign. No, you can't do that. That more than anything else. If you don't support a policy, it's not great, but you can look past it. But that is an immediate disqualifier. If you take in $635,000 in corporate PAC contributions, that is unacceptable. You cannot have that if you're running a Democratic primary. I cannot support that. And for that, bye-bye, you're out. She's voted in line with Donald Trump's position 31.5% of the time, which USA is according to 538, which according to USA Today is the highest among the 5 other Democratic senators officially in the running in this primary so far. Saying, quote, Kloubuchar told supporters in the heartland that she promised to govern with heart and grit, saying, quote, "I don't come from money, but what I do have is this. I have grit." President Donald Trump responded on Twitter. This one tweet here is probably going to be more entertaining than anything that happened in the 3,000 hours that was Amy Klobuchar's launch speech, saying, quote, "Well, it happened again." Amy Klobuchar announced that she is running for president, talking proudly of fighting global warming while standing in a virtual blizzard of snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. Bad timing. By the end of her speech, she looked like a snowman / woman. So that is what that's how he weighs in on that. But still, the truth is, though, obviously, weather versus climate, it's a stupid thing. It's like that. Literally, if you hear someone, if you live in a cold state and someone says, "Oh, what about global warming?" Yeah, there's no global warming. Literally, just feel free to slap in the face, because that is the stupidest argument. It's been proven so many times again by people who actually know science. Again, I'm going to tell you, I am not good at science at all. But I know that is a BS argument. So, yeah. All right. From one bad Trump tweet to another, this is one that took place over the weekend. Donald Trump, he's, again, deeply disturbed man, if you didn't know. He thinks it's funny to joke about the forced displacement and genocide of thousands of Native Americans. Because that's what he did over the weekend. Undisputedly. I don't care what anyone has to say about that. Undisputedly joked about the Trail of Tears. So, yeah, on Saturday, Elizabeth Warren launched her 2020 campaign. Talked about that last night on For the Win. She launched it in Lawrence, Massachusetts, which is a city of immigrants and textile mills, and the site of the Bread and Roses labor strike. Crazy, very cool, powerful story of labor in the early 20th century. Introducing Warren, her colleague in the Senate, and Ed Markey accurately observed that no one knows how to get under Trump's skin better than Elizabeth Warren, and really, she was right. He was right, because Trump's Twitter response to Warren's speech, which he delivered